Good evening everyone and welcome to race 2 of the P2 League from Sakhir in Bahrain. With Clayfunk winning the first race and Renault leading the Constructors Championship, it's still all to play for here. Let's take a closer look at the track. This 3.3 mile circuit houses 3 DRS zones and a balanced 15 corners will give our drivers a real test. Let's go down to trackside. Right, it's Pix roughly, so we're going to follow along with him for a lap, let you know how the track looks. I'll break it down as we go through. And away we go as he approaches to turn 1. Sharp right-hander. Swinging down to another sharp left at turn 2. Into a drifting left of turn 3. Along this DRS straight. Along to this drifting, hard braking turn 4. Into a dogleg turn 5. Into turn 6, which drifts straight into turn 7. Hard braking into the turn 8 hairpin, then up the hill, drifting over to the centre of the track before hard braking downhill into turn 10, along the second DRS straight, all the way along, hard braking into a drifting turn 11. Then right into a long drifting turn 12. Into the double parted turn 13. Into the long straight. Before reaching the final part of the track. Light to medium braking for turn 14. Little final turn of turn 15. Straight down to the final DRS zone. And over the finish line. I'm going to follow along with Pix. This is the first guy out on the track doing a fast lap. He's out on the softs. We should be looking for somewhere in the region of about mid 126s, maybe low 126s, to be a competitive time. Ooh, a little bit of loss of grip coming out of that corner. Catches the curb a little bit. You want to try and avoid the curbs on those two. Can maybe catch a little bit of the curb coming out of it, but this is actually a track where not catching the curbs is actually a benefit. Right. As we're approaching the final straight, let's see how he finishes up. 126.7 for Cheeky Chappy, or 128.3 for Pix. He wasn't actually the first guy out, I apologise. I must have missed Cheeky leaving the pit. Mark Nasty coming to the end of his first lap on the softs. Psycho Panda hits a 127.7. Wondering Me a 126.8. King Psycho Panda with a 127.7 and Mark Nasty with a 128.5. Jordan Hassel with a 128.2. Lettel now coming around to the end of his first lap. He's on the mediums though. Interesting to see how this goes. Mediums could be an interesting tyre choice because the softs do again fall away very much on this track. Although not quite as badly as in Singapore. Kind of 7 laps is kind of your maximum softs run. Lettel on the mediums with a 127.6. Impressive. Gives him options now with tyre choices. Jay Wizzy now. Let's follow along as he hits the back straight. Hits a purple sector 2. Drifting down the back straight. Last week's pole sitter. Goes up. Approaches the line. Only a 128.3. Must have dropped off quite a lot of time in one of the first 2 sectors. Clayfunk's out on his first fast lap. He's just starting up now. It approaches the end of sector 1. Purple sector 1 from Clayfunk on the mediums. Last week's winner. We're riding on board. Hard braking into turn 10 there. Getting that line right can gain you so much time with the DRS and the ERS usage. As he comes up to the end of sector 2, let's see where he's at now. Hasn't actually registered what his lap was, so I assume it wasn't purple sector 2. But this could be quite a quick lap, all things considered. He's coming up to the end of the straight now. There's a 125, 126, 127, 128.2. Lost a lot of time there in the last 2 sectors of the lap. Plenty of time to be made up by everybody. Jern is coming up to the end of his first flying lap. 120, 121. Taking the final turn, now into the straight. 128.4 puts himself up into P10. There's definitely a noticeable difference with the softs right now. Lettel the only guy to break 128 on the mediums. So Jordan, who's got a couple of last turns and 2 straights to do on this lap. Looking to improve from P6. But this time he's out on the softs. It could be a much faster lap. He was quick in the practice sessions that we had the other day. 26, 27, 127.2 puts him up into P3. McLarens will be happy with that result. Follow the brothers here. Out on his fast lap. He set himself 2 green sectors. Could improve on his time. Currently sitting down in P13. In fact, he's had a purple sector 2. This could make a massive difference. Where can he put that Ferrari? This is looking pretty quick. 127.8 puts himself up to P7. I think everybody else is either in the pits, on in laps, or on out laps. Oh, what the hell was that? Seems like he's got some connection issues, but surely Jay Wizzy should have been staying out of his way there. There's some quite heavy connection issues, I'm afraid. Let's go and hit up with the brothers here, who's on the only one I think who's on a definite chance to improve with his time. On a fast lap here, 24, 25, 26, 126.9 pops himself up into P4. Phenomenal. Right, so let's have a look. On pole, we've got SOS Brothers. In P2, we've got Wondering Me. On row 2, we'll have Cheeky Chappie and the Brothers 2000. Row 3 will have Jordan Hassel and Pix Ruffy. Row 4 will be Lettel and King Psycho Panda. Row 5 will be Adidas and Clayfunk. Row 6 will be Marinat and Jay Wizzy. Row 7 will be Jern and Mark Nasty. And row 10 will be Doug Vickers and the Imperial. Row 10. Row 8 will be Doug Vickers and the Imperial. Be interesting to see what happens come race time, which will be starting momentarily. It's race day here at Sakhir, and taking a look at the grid, we have a very interesting race on our hands. Very different from the layout in the first race. With a clear sky, it looks like this race will be straightforward from a weather perspective. So let's take a look down at the drivers on the grid and get ready for the formation lap, which is get ready to start momentarily. Okay, so again, I'll just give a quick rundown of the order here. We've got SOS in first, Wondering Me in 2, Cheeky Chappie 3, The Brothers 2004, Jordan Hassel 5, Pick 6, Lettel 7, King Psycho Panda 8, Adidas 9, Clayfunk 10, Marinat 11, Jay Wizzy 12, Jern 13, Mark Nasty 14, Doug Vickers 15, and Imperial 16. Okay. So I think the optimum strategy here for most drivers will be a two-stop strategy, particularly those coming off the softs, with potential over 29 laps to be able to do 2 medium runs and a soft run. But some of the medium runners may be able to get away with a one-stop strategy going medium hard. I expect the softs to be able to last about 7 laps, the mediums to be able to last around 13-ish laps, pushing it. And the hards should quite easily take a good 18-19 laps up without really having too much loss in performance. And we are go. Taking a look down here. Looks like Clayfunk moves all the way up to 7th. Oh, now out to 9th. Somebody goes very wide out the exit there. SOS Brothers holds his lead. Wondering Me in 2nd. Brothers in 3rd. Cheeky Chappie 4. Pix 5. Jordan 6. Clayfunk 7. Mark Nasty moves all the way up to 8th. Excellent start there. Panda down in 9th. Lettel 10th. Adidas 11th. Jay Wizzy in 12th. Jern 13th. Imperial 14th. And Doug Vickers 15th. And Marinat has been disqualified. That's one driver out already. Wondering me closing in now on the SOS brothers. Interesting to see how this will pan out in the as the race carries on. It looks like nearly everybody ran the first lap in pretty much safe conditions. Wondering me now, following up behind him. Is he going to take him on the straight? He's got the run, he's got the race position. Is he going to be able to take him on that corner? I'm wondering me takes the SOS brothers. Well done to the camera guy there for not following the cars it's supposed to follow. But we'll get there in the end. Clayfunk moves up to 6th. Mark Nasty's gone down to 7th. Fantastic start from those two. Jordan's not had a very good start. He's down in P8. The Imperial's had a great start. He's up in P12. Lettle's in the pit. I'm not quite certain what's happened to him. Let's follow the battle here between Mark Nasty and Clayfunk, because these guys seem to be going back and forth. Clayfunk picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting warnings. Wondering me sets the fastest lap with a 1:31.0. Mark now seemingly pulling out quite a gap on a little bit of a gap now on Clayfunk in front, although they've started to pull back in. Jordan's just hanging off the back of them. Go down to Jay Wizzy, who's got Panda right behind him. He's pulled out about a second now, and is he going to start catching up with Jordan in front? Cheeky's just got Pix right behind him as well, up fighting the battle for P4. And the brothers is now on the back of the SOS brothers. And Pix has just overtaken Cheeky Chappy, but Cheeky Chappy's taken him back. I can check this battle out. A bit of back and forth there. For P4. With the DRS now active, we could well see people catching and switching positions quite a lot. The corners at the end of the DRS zones are all designed with a good flow back option in case you do get taken on the straight and you manage to maintain your position. Oh, Jern has just overtaken Jordan and Panda. There seems to have been some action there. They've both gone into the pits. Let's wait to see where they come out. Jern now moves up to P9, Imperial P10, Doug Vickers P11. Cheeky's dropping away from the brothers, and the Pix has been dropping away from him too. Going to move up and take a look at the battle for P2. As we follow on with the SOS brothers. Whereas the brothers 2000 right behind him. Don't get confused between the two. And Cheeky's just on the back of them as well. He's only half a second behind now. He's really starting to find his stride. Maybe as these softs are starting to wear thin. And Jern has DNF'd. Well, he won't be happy with that after such a strong showing last week in Singapore. As we're now in lap 5 of this race. The virtual safety car is out. I wonder what happened there. So we're now down to 14 drivers. Just taking a look down the order. It's still very close between the top 4 drivers, top 5 drivers. There's a little bit of a gap to P6. And there's from P8 downwards some quite large gaps generating between the cars. So let's follow with Wandering Me a minute, who's out in the lead. As he pulls out over a second. No position changes on the restart. But again, that battle between sort of P2 down to about P5 is very, very close. In fact, Mark Nasty's now on the back of them, so he's made up a lot of time through that VSC. Okay, let's back down and take a look at the battle for P3. The Brothers 2000 and Cheeky Chappie. Cheeky's right at the back. He could have quite a run on him here with the DRS. Only within about 0.3 of a second from him. Also, Clay and Jay Wizzy having a bit of a battle right now. Let's wait to see what happens at the end of this DRS straight. Does he manage to pull up any time on him? He's right on the edge of him, but just can't get near enough. Still, no real improvement inside there, although Jay taking a very aggressive line around that corner could get himself quite a run. Cheeky and the brothers exchange places again. There's a scrap going on and a half there. I think I picked the wrong one. I was trying to see. I thought Clay and Jay was going to be closer, but actually Cheeky and the brothers, which seems to be the battle of the race so far. But over the next lap, we could well see him come back as the DRS switches between the two of them. Wondering me now pulling out a 2.3 second lead, so he's well outside the DRS of the SOS brothers. These guys are taking the absolute maximum out of these soft tyres. I'm wondering if they're trying to two-stop or whether they're thinking bravely to go onto hards now and try and pull out for the rest of the race just on one set of tyres. I do think the two-stop strategy is far more valid than last week where the one-stop strategy seemed to be king. Now we'll see. Will the brothers be able to come back in the same way that Cheeky took him in the previous lap? He seems to have caught up quite a bit of time there on that section. He's only 0.3 of a second. He's got a straight where he's going to be completely in his draft. And then, of course, he's going to have the DRS advantage going forward. Cheeky doesn't have the DRS advantages. He's just out over a second outside the SOS brothers. SOS brothers pits anyway. So does the brothers and so does Mark Nasty. Let's follow these guys, see where they come out of the pit. SOS comes out P6. Oh! But the brothers ends up in P7. His Ferrari teammate, Pix, manages to get in front of him. Now that will not make him happy. That strategy will clearly have just looked like it backfired to everybody. We'll follow with Jay Wizzy. As he's now only 0.6 of a second behind cheeky on those worn softs. There we go. Ruffy's lap tyre data is actually shown correct now. Oh! And Cheeky's gone wide! Jay takes him with ease. Doesn't even have to take him off his line, but I think Cheeky will be either going in for the pit here or trying to come back in with DRS. I think he's very brave to take another lap out on these softs after having just had a mistake like that. Let's follow Wandering Me and see where Wandering Me comes out when he leaves the pits here. It's going to be a stack of cars in front of him. Comes out in P6 behind Pix. Another car comes out in front of the Brothers 2000. These pit stops have not been kind to him. The Brothers 2000 now finding himself down in P7. Imperial, who's yet to pit, has now found himself up in P3. Playing the Sergio Perez long stint tactic. And Cheeky has appeared out in front of Mark Nasty. So Wandering Me has himself a little bit of a gap now between those two. Jay finds himself 4 seconds ahead of Clayfunk, who's in second. I think looking at this realistically, I think the top three are all going for a one-stop strategy. This could well pay into their hands, but take a look at P3 and we'll follow the Imperial and SOS brothers, because SOS is on much fresher tyres. You have to fancy that he's going to take him when it comes down to the pit straight. The question for the Imperial is how many more laps does he take on those softs before he goes in for his stop? Up the inside. He's got the run on him. Ferrari tries to go around the outside of him too. Has to lead off. Imperial holds his position. But he's now down to P4. SOS Brothers is now unleashed to go and start catching the two in front, who are only 4.7 seconds, and he's only... Oh, sorry, he's 12 seconds behind Clayfunk and another 4 seconds behind Jay. How much time can he eat into that? Our pole sitter. Looking down the order. This is where the real battle is, though. Pix is now catching up on the Imperial. It's a matter of where does he pull the move. This could be the straight here with the DRS advantage. He pulls alongside him. Whoa, careful pulling back so quickly in front of him there, Pix. That was dangerous. That could have caused an incident because he's on worn tyres. It's much harder for him to brake coming into that corner. But now poor Imperial's going to have the Wandering Me coming in. Oh, and there's a spin in the back. The Brothers has spun out. Wandering Me now goes past. Oh, they're neck and neck around that corner. I don't know if that's the smartest move, but Wandering Me now pushes forward. Both with DRS. I don't think Imperial can really fight this at the moment. He's just got much older tyres. But the Brothers 2000 now appears in P9 behind Mark Nasty and Cheeky Chappy, who are having a little battle of their own. Oh, Cheeky is now ahead of the Imperial too. Mark Nasty, whose tyres are very worn and seem to have dropped off from Cheeky. Cheeky seems to be putting in the laps now. And Wandering Me has now passed Pix. Is Pix going to have to come back in on the next DRS straight? Because bear in mind, the Wondering Me is on hards, which aren't as grippy as the mediums that are on the Ferrari right now. Lettel has just jumped the Imperial, who's gone into the pits. Jordan's also in the pits. In what will probably be both their final pit stops. Imperial's decided to come back out on the softs by the look of things. So he's going to have to make an extra stop on top. Doug Vickers still yet to make a pit stop. He's on lap 12. So there is still plenty of chances to come back in. But the majority of the cars that are out on mediums have still yet to pit. So we'll have to see Jay Wizzy and Clay in 1 and 2 pit. But the SOS brothers has eaten in loads of time. He's only 7.7 seconds now behind Clayfunk. And both Jay and Clay are in the pit. So let's go and take a look and see where they come out. Jay Wizzy is now out. He's going to come back out. Ooh, where is it? Jay Wizzy comes out behind Mark Nasty in P6. Mark Nasty's still yet to pit by the look of things. It's not implying to me that he's made a pit, although it's telling me he's been on 18 laps in a 14-lap race, so telemetry not giving us the correct tyre details right now. And Clayfunk comes out in P9, but both those guys are now tired up to the end. Long hard runs, actually medium length hard runs, 16 laps, not too long. Those hards will still be in very good condition by the end, so there's no real need to be concerned for them. It's just about being consistent now and putting in the consistent lap times that allows them to stay in those positions and move past people as the people are going for their second round of pits. Currently not getting enough data on how close everybody is. But Jay is right on the back of Mark Nasty as he takes him on that home straight. Not much Mark can do. Just a fresher tyre situation there. I'm pretty sure that Mark has already made a pit stop. I think Mark started on softs, so... But unfortunately, the lap data it's giving me is not particularly helpful. Clayfunk's catching up with the brothers in front of him as well. He's been taking out about 0.2 of a second a lap in the recent laps. Pix is still within the DRS zone of Wondering Me in P2. But Jay looks like he's perfectly happy sitting in front of Mark now as he's pulling away over a second outside the DRS zone now. Okay, let's move back up and check out Wondering Me and Pix Ruffy again. Probably the closest battle on the track right now, but Pix is just not capable of getting within that DRS zone at the right points in order to make up the time. Cheeky Chappie just picks up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting warnings. Panda now's gone in and he's on hards as well, sitting down in P11. And Lettel, who had a fantastic race last week, finishing P2, is down in P10. But he's made his final pit stop. I'm beginning to think that Wondering Me is going straight to the end on a very long strategy, but he should be able to do it with 19 laps on these hards. It's the SOS brothers in front. And Pix Ruffy and the brothers who look like they've still got to make pit stops. Potentially Adidas 2 may have to later on as well. So it's not over by a long shot right now. We just have to keep an eye out for when they decide to make these moves in for the tyres. If you're going to make another move in now, you're probably best waiting until around lap 22 coming in, taking the softs, taking a 7 or 8 lap run on the softs. It's the most way to make the most time up. And Pix Ruffy's in the pit. Okay, let's see where he's going to come out. Oh, and the racing points are out in the pits. That looks like Mark Nasty's coming in. And Pix comes out in P7. Let's just take a look and see where Mark Nasty comes out. The Imperial has come out in front of him. Mark's going for another mediums run. That's 11 laps on mediums. Pix has gone in for he wants to 11 laps on softs. That's a brave choice. They're going to be weak tyres by the end. Imperial, who's also on softs, is at 5 laps. So when we see the Imperial go in, that'll give you an indicator exactly how much those softs can really do at their max. And the SOS Brothers is in for his pit. Right, okay everybody, this is where we don't know what's going on. I also saw the Renault garage out there. That looks like they may be setting up for a pit as well. Maybe Lettle's going to gamble and go on a softs run. So the SOS Brothers now comes out in P5 behind the Williams of Clayfunk. Now we're going to stick with this battle a minute because this could be really interesting. SOS Brothers is on newer medium tyres and Clay is on 5 lap old hards. This should mean that there is chunks of time coming out. It's not a significantly faster tyre, the medium over the hard, but it is enough when it's fresh to be able to claw into someone's DRS zone pretty quickly. Wandering Me now reclaims the lead of the race. Cheeky Chappie in second, Jay Wizzy third, Clayfunk fourth, SOS Brothers fifth, Imperial sixth, Mark Nasty seventh, Brothers eighth, Lettle ninth, Pix 10th, King Psycho Panda 11th, Adidas 12th, and Doug Vickers in 13th. For the 13 drivers remaining in this race. SOS Brothers now within a second. He could well be in his DRS zone at the next line at the home straight, but he could even be even closer by the end of the penultimate straight here. There's also a battle going on behind Imperial. There's Imperial, the brothers, and Mark Nasty all within about a second of each other. So we'll be diving over to that as soon as this straight is finished. Are we going to see a catch? He's catching him. You can see him right there. Has he got the speed? Can he take him under braking? Oh, this is going to be close. No, the Williams stays in front. But, oh, he manages to get better drive out of it. This is very tight racing here. And for the time being, that stays in front. Now let's drop down and see how the... And Mark Nasty's gone into the pits. I don't know what's happened there. He's clearly had a knock into somebody. Because he was up in 6th place and he's now down in 11th place. Lettle is right behind the Imperial. With Pix directly behind them on the softs. This could be quite a battle going down here. Oh! Dearie me! And Pix has hit into the back of the Imperial, which has knocked him out. That's probably a difference in softs right there. Imperial's in big trouble here. He's down to P10. Lettle moves up to 7th. Cheeky Chappie and Jay Wizzy. Jay is right on the back of him. Can he catch him on the straight? He's got him. Jay moves up to P2. Superb racing, guys. Lots of back and forth. And I don't think Cheeky's going to leave that one lying down, although I do feel like with a 12 laps old set of hards, there's not going to be a lot of room for manoeuvre. The key is for him to stay within the DRS area and try and claw back. As we're approaching 6 laps to go, 6.5 laps to go. Wondering me, only 4 seconds ahead of Jay Wizzy, who's on fresher hards. Is he going to be able to start eating into that over this time? As his hards will stay in optimum level for most of the race, whereas Wandering Me's will start to dip. They won't be at their peak. As Cheeky starts to push back in. On the home straight. Has he got the run? Comes on the inside. He has. He gets in front. Fantastic line there. But is Jay going to be able to come back at him? Not quite there. But there's a straight DRS straight coming up now. Will he be able to catch him on this part? He's right behind him. Pulls out to the wide. Not quite enough space to be able to do it. It's a very short DRS straight. Cheeky must be very happy with getting back in front there. But I don't think this is over. I think Jay's going to be right back on him at the next opportunity. I feel like this is going to be the back and forth race for the rest of it. Mark Nasty's managed to get ahead of the Imperial now, so he's on as the Imperial's made another pit stop. So Mark Nasty's now in P10, picking up the last point. But this is where the action is right now. The Williams versus Mercedes battle. It's what we like to see. As we come back down into the home straight. Is Jay going to come back at him? He will do. Is he going to be able to do it in time though? Yes, he's inside, but this is going to be very close. Good racing there, guys. It's what we like to see, a bit of back and forth. But I don't think this one's over quite yet. Although Cheeky now sitting there on 14 lap old hards, it's going to be difficult for him to keep maintaining this battling. But I'm sure that won't stop him. Determined after last week's disaster of a race to really pull something back and get himself planted on the points. The podium here would definitely make up for that. SOS Brothers is now with about 5.5 seconds behind these guys, so this battling is probably buying him a little bit of time to get back in, as we have just over 4 laps left in this race. Wondering me, he's only 3.3 seconds in front of these guys, you know. He's dropped about 5 tenths of a second over the last couple of laps to these guys. It would just take one mistake to put him right back in there with him. He's now down to 3 seconds away from Jay, who's decided to think he's going to just push for it now. You can see that the 16 lap old hards and the other guys are starting to wear, and I think he's thinking, oh, I've got a chance here. He's down to 2.8 seconds now behind Wondering Me. This race is far from over. Pix has just taken Lettel on the home straight, putting himself up to P7. Making perfect advantage of that. King Psycho Panda has just taken the Imperial down in pit for his 10th place back. I don't think he's going to be making up enough time to catch Mark Nasty in front of him. And Lettel just has no response when it comes to the mediums of the softs of Pix. But It's not over because those softs are on the verge of going completely off the cliff. So we will have to step back in here and take a look in a second. But Jay Wizzy, he's only 2.3 seconds now off Wondering Me. He's taken a second out of him in the last lap alone. With 2 laps to go, is this race actually over? This is getting exciting, guys. He's at a 2.2. If you're Jay, you've got to be hoping, cheeky, just don't try and take me. Let me use this as a chance to get us higher up, because I'm catching this guy. There is a potential win here. SOS Brothers is down to 4.8 seconds away from the guys in front. So he's also catching, but I don't think there's enough time for him to make that difference. And Jay is now within 2 seconds of Wondering Me. Did Wondering Me just go in a little bit too early onto these hards? Jay down to 1.8 seconds now behind him. Also the battle for P7 still going on with Pix and Lettel, which is still within DRS of each other. King Psycho Panda sets the fastest lap of 128.5. And as we go into the last lap here, can he, in the last lap, take 2 seconds out of him? We're going to go with Wondering Me for the final lap. And I think Jay's made a mistake there. He's dropped down to about 2 seconds back. He's lost about 0.2 of a second in that straight alone. But this is 1, 2 and 3. Wondering Me in the Racing Point. Jay Wizzy in the Mercedes. And Cheeky Chappy in the Williams. He's Wondering Me. Takes turn 8. Turn 9. Turn 10. .4 seconds now the gap. Jay is absolutely pushing this, and of course penalties may come into play here. Cheeky's just behind him too. We're now within 1 second. It could just be too little, too late. And Lettel's taken Pix. Lettel is now in P7 with Pix in P8. Have we got this here? I think it's just a little bit too little, too late. But what an amazing comeback to even bring it to within a second. Here we go. We come to the finish line. Wondering Me takes the checkered flag. Jay Wizzy comes second but drops behind Cheeky on penalties. SOS picks up third as Jay drops behind him on penalties. Let's drop down and see Clay. Clay comes over the line in 5th. Down to the brothers. Brothers comes to approach the line in 6th. Now Lettel had a massive battle with Pix over the last few laps. But he goes behind Pix on penalties, so it was all futile. Mark Nasty now. Comes over the line. P9. King Psycho Panda now coming into the last couple of turns. Onto the straight. P10 for King Psycho Panda. Doug Vickers finishes a lap down in P13. The Imperial pops through in P11. And Adidas comes through in P12. Fantastic race, gentlemen. Jay Wizzy picks up driver of the day. And what was a sterling performance. A couple more laps and I feel he would have actually taken the lead. But picking up too many penalties en route has cost him big time. Cost him a podium. First win of the season for Racing Point. Williams picking up a second for their second podium of the season. And Mercedes getting their first podium of the season, picking up a third place. Be interesting to see the constructors' points at the end of this. With race 2 in the bag, let's take a look at the classified results. On closer inspection, the stewards decided that Jay Wizzy's penalty was in fact a glitch and has then repositioned him back with his original placing. Wondering Me takes the win, Jay Wizzy in second, Cheeky Chappy third, SOS Brothers fourth, Clayfunk fifth, The Brothers 2000 sixth, Pix Ruffy seventh, Lettle Gaming eighth, TTV Mark Nasty ninth, King Psycho Panda 10th, filling out the points positions, with Adidas the Imperial and Doug Vickers finishing but failing to score points, and Jordan Hassel, Jern and Marinat all failing to A good result of King Psycho Panda also picking up the fastest lap with an impressive 1:28.5. With that in mind, let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. Clayfunk still out in the lead in the Drivers' Championship with 35 points. Jay Wizzy now just 5 points behind him in second. Wondering Me with a win puts himself now in third. Little Gaming drops down to fourth with 22 points after a disappointing afternoon for the Renaults. The Brothers 2000 in fifth with 18 points. Jern in sixth with 15 points. And Cheeky Chappy with his first podium puts himself up on 15 points into 7th place. Also note Mark Nasty is down in 11th with 5 points, having finished 9th in both of the races so far. And finally, let's look at the Constructors' Championship. Williams lead the lead right now with 50 points, Mercedes in second with 42 points, Renault in third with 37 points, Ferrari in fourth with 30 points, tied with Racing Point who are also on 30 points. Alpha Tauri on 10 points and Aston Martin Red Bull Racing with 4 points and McLaren holding up the rear with a single point. As we now move to the third race in Abu Dhabi next week, it should be an interesting field, that's for sure. See us then, we'll see you then. Take care and have a wonderful evening.